Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Professor Hamamoto. The date is August 28, year 2021. The time, 4:54 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I bring to you today another ASMR reading. Selected by Extraterrestrials, Volume 2, by William Mills Tompkins. Chapter 11. Exciting Times in Oregon. How were Navy League families involved in Oregon? I was only 18 years old when I was inducted into the Navy and stationed in San Diego, California, during the last few years of World War II. When the war ended, I was honorably discharged and entered the civilian world working in various aircraft design and manufacturing companies. The details of that time in my young life are covered extensively in other parts of this book and selected by Extraterrestrials, so I won't repeat them here. However, the Navy is still in my blood, and I have always felt very close to that military branch. Some of you remember this is an autobiography, so I am stopping again and slipping in a time warp after my time at TRW in the 1980s. After leaving TRW, much later in life, our family moved to Medford, Oregon, seeking a much less stressful lifestyle. What proceeded from there is another fantastic event in my life. Everybody knows Oregon is out in the boonies, but Medford is located only 14 miles north of the California border, near that big hill with all the UFOs flying in and out daily, Mount Shasta. Soon after we arrived in Oregon, we bought a building lot, designed and built a large futuristic home on the west side of a high mountain that had a magnificent 180-degree view of the Pacific West Coast. While there, I organized a Navy League council called the Rogue Valley Council. A Navy League council is made up of retired Navy personnel, their family, and other civilians interested in promoting the Navy lifestyle. In my case, I established a special project for Sea Cadets, teenage boys and girls whom I taught about the reality of UFOs, ETs, and our space Navy. We named them a Star Platoon. Other members of the Oregon Navy League were retired Navy officers, many of whom were pilots who had their own business aircraft. They would fly all over the western states for their businesses and Navy League activity. An interesting side note is that as they flew around Mount Shasta, they would see UFOs entering and exiting the mountain. Curiously, they would see no portals opening for the vehicles. They even drove around the mountain base in their off-road vehicles, looking without success for such openings. As you may know, Mount Shasta is reported to be a major UFO ET base. In 2015, it became necessary to look back at some of the circumstances that began my unreal background back in 1970 when they dropped me into the TRW Space think tank. I reviewed these strange extraterrestrial events with the brass at the top of the Navy League program. Here's what I told them. It all started with my alien hobbies in 1942, where I was on staff to Admiral Rico Botta in Naval Intelligence in San Diego, California. As you know, my involvement in the space programs then continued at Douglas Aircraft, then at North American Rocketdyne, and later at TRW, where I was on staff to a VP. I then went on as program director of the highly secret ASW UFO seafloor bases, and then on to the corporate red team at General Dynamics. Later, my involvement reached a crescendo in the 70s and 80s in the Northwest, where I was promoted to Oregon State Vice President of the Navy League of the United States and chairman of a secret special project group with a naval space agenda. This included studying naval missions by the aliens. These were their plans to control every country on Earth through the use of war. We must accept that some hostile aliens may have been underground here for thousands of years, possibly using war as one of their methods to maintain their control over us. My job at TRW was to utilize the conceived naval space missions using kilometer-length U.S. Navy spacecraft carriers to confront the aliens. We then proposed to Congress to fund hundreds of millions of dollars to build 30 battle groups with these spacecraft carriers to engage the alien battle groups and prevent them from attacking us. If necessary, this would get the other aliens off our planet by attacking their alien battle groups out in the galaxy, not with a war here on this planet. We will then work toward the penetration of other alien species that have infiltrated our defense systems and are attempting to take over our planet. Developing the Sea Cadet program was surprisingly simple because of the enthusiasm on the part of the young boys and especially the girls. It was completely different from any others that I had encountered in my 40-year Navy League involvement. These students were heavily motivated after seeing Spielberg's classic film, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which was released in 1977. I briefed them on aerospace technology, and they just couldn't get enough of it. My having been involved in conceiving the space missions and the design of the Apollo stages, including the Launch Complex 39 facilities, was music to their ears. They were intrigued by my descriptions and drawings of the Launch Control Building, and they were astonished when I showed them my 1x3x3 model of the 400-foot steel umbilical tower with its 4 entry arms connected to the Apollo vehicle. They were very impressed and proud that they were now actually participating in the space program. I also explained that I had designed the Launch Control Building, replacing the German underground blockhouse and the Mission Control Center in Houston, Texas. Their enthusiasm was so great that their Navy League chapter was rated top in the Western states by Navy League directors. In the Oregon Navy League, we spent 14 years investigating secret alien agendas, but that will have to wait for another book. Editor's note: Bill's electronic and physical records did not contain his report on investigating secret alien agendas. Bill's computer is in the possession of Bill's son, Dean, if it still exists. One of our Navy League members, Special Projects Director Rick Holt, the County Commissioner of Oregon, was related by family to Senator Barry Goldwater, who was also a Major General in the U.S. Air Force Reserve. Goldwater sponsored the extraterrestrial programs at the highest level. Probably because he was back in Washington, D.C. at the time, Rick Holt was often missing from his official duties as Southern Oregon County Commissioner and as the Navy League Special Projects Program Director. He was the principal person in the Navy League with knowledge obtained directly from inside the Pentagon relating to our government relations. He was also well informed of the latest UFO sightings, probably because he was party to the classified information derived from Goldwater's exposure to the Pentagon naval missions. That made him especially valuable to our Oregon Navy League organization. Another Navy League tidbit. I was talking to Dave Thorson, Executive Vice President of SAIC, Science Applications International Corporation, in his office in University City, San Diego, California. Dave was also involved in the Navy League missions. He related to me that he had recently discovered that aliens have been cruising the halls of SAIC's corporate building. SAIC is one of the major players in the Black Projects world, so it is not surprising that they often show up there. We suspect they monitor many of our Black Projects relating to them. Now let me tell you about a very weird experience that took place during my time in Medford. You should find it interesting, perhaps even unbelievable, but it really happened, and it was confirmed to me later by a couple of participants. I'll end here, ladies and gentlemen. This was an excerpt read from Selected by Extraterrestrials, Volume 2. It is an edited collection of writings by William Mills Tompkins. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen and think about some of the observations by William Mills Tompkins. I'll be back with you soon with another ASMR reading.